season. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of Prabhudas Lilladher, I welcome you all to the 3Q FY21 earnings call of Navneet Education Limited. We have with us the management represented by Mr. Sunil Gala, MD, Mr. Deepak Kaku, CFO, and Mr. Rumi Mistry, Head IR. I would now like to hand over the call to the management for opening remarks, and probably after that we can kind of open the floor for Q&A. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Yeah, this is Sunil Gala. Thank you in particular to the Lilladher to arranging this conference call. So, good morning to all of you. Now, firstly, I'm sure all of you would have seen the numbers, maybe a little surprised, but as I've said in my presentation, that it is the first time in the history of Navneet that schools did not open in time, and as I said in the presentation, till almost November, no school started across the country, including our core focus areas, and few schools did started. Few standards, I would say, or grades did started from the month of December. Now that has impacted the print publishing sales of Navneet, that is Navneet and subsidiary Indianica. Our digital products, which is done by eSense and domestic stationery, all three segments were impacted due to this pandemic. Good news is that 80% attendance is seen from grade 9 to 12 now. So from January onwards, not only 9 to 12, but we are seeing some traction for 5th to 8th grade as well. So what I mean to say, the sales had started in the fourth quarter. We feel it will be substantial good sales, but I should also say that the business lost during the year cannot be recouped in just fourth quarter, but we feel that good sales will happen in the fourth quarter. Simultaneously, I should say that the board exams, be it for SSC or for CBSE, ICSE, have been announced to be held in the month of April and May. What that means is that the next academic year may start from June. Normally, in CBSE in particular, academic year was starting from April, so we used to have good sales in the fourth quarter. But this year, since academic year will start from June onwards, again the sales of CBSE products also will get rolled over, or it will get postponed in the month of April and May. Keeping all this in mind, overall I believe the whole year in total there will be substantial reduction in revenue. No doubt in the earlier calls I would have given some guidance of numbers without knowing when schools are likely to reopen. It was just an estimate that I had mentioned. So overall, now that we have clarity on what is likely to happen in the current year, including the fourth quarter, this year we are likely to see around 58 to 59% reduction in publishing sales, around 35% reduction in stationery sales, and at a company level, we are likely to say overall 45% degrowth compared to the last year. So, with this, of course, the PBT, PAT, all numbers are likely to get reduced substantially. But as I said earlier, nothing was in our hand, and finally, we have tried to do what best we can do. Seeing the current scenario of the schools reopening, parents agreeing to send their children to the schools, also for pre-primary and primary, that is grade 1 to 4, we believe next year is likely to be as usual that we have been seeing over the last 6 decades. So next year there is likely to be good growth on two counts. One is that, as I said, that academic year for CBSE also will get started from June. So we are likely to see good revenue in month of April and May for CBSE. That is all India sales that we do, not only from Navneet but also from Indianica. And thereafter, likely to see good revenue coming in for the next year on account of a couple of grades that are likely to change for the state of Maharashtra and Gujarat with the introduction of NEP. So that is as far as publishing business is concerned. As far as stationery business is concerned, no doubt in the current year, we are likely to see around 20% degrowth in exports as well. And the main reason was that first 45 to 60 days, we had to keep all our factories shut. And due to that, we lost certain orders. But given the scenario, the way we are receiving so many inquiries from new clients as well, we are likely to see good growth going forward in exports of stationery as well. So net, I should say that this year is one of the year in the history of Navneet. Going forward, Navneet is likely to see good growth continuously for next couple of years. This is as far as the core business is concerned. Now, as far as our digital initiatives are concerned, I should also mention here a couple of things that Navneet has focused during this current pandemic period as well. So let me tell you a couple of things that Navneet has initiated. First of all, as you all know, that till date we were majorly focusing on state level curriculum as far as digital is concerned. You all may be wondering that during the pandemic, digital have increased in many companies, but unfortunately, why not Navneet? Let me tell you that since we were focused only on SSC, using digital content or online content in SSC school was not seen at all. More or less, students were still in vacation mode only. Now, keeping this in mind and seeing the good future for the digital content, Navneet has decided, through Essence of course, to create and repurpose Essence digital content focusing CBSE schools, CBSE curriculum, and for that a big survey was taken. We have identified gaps that teachers feel should be improved or should be included in the digital deliverables, as well as the gaps that students want to have clarified. With that survey, now we have already started creating products, and couple of products will be introduced in the next academic year itself. Huge content library is already being created. Secondly, in Navneet only, what we have done is we have started digitizing various books that we have. Already around 300 odd titles are on digital platforms. What I mean is these are just not PDFs of the physical product, but there is lot many interactivity in those digital books. What I mean by interactivity is, one, it helps students to, literally do whatever they were doing in the physical book, including writing some notes on a particular area or highlighting some areas. We have also included lots of animations in those products, animations that Navneet already had through Essence. So we have lots of animations added to that, lots of Q&A also included in that. So when students buy physical product, we are giving them access code to access the digital book as well. What I mean to say that once they see digital book, overall they will be benefited a lot, and in going forward, we believe that the usage of digital books will increase manifold from now. So we have already have lots of registration happening also on the same digital platform, and we are getting good feedback from the student community as well. So this is as far as digital books, though I said just 300 have been launched, but in the next academic year, more than 1,000 titles will be already there on digital platform. So that is one new initiative that Navneet has started. Another initiative is we have decided to introduce an interactive digital platform for the age group 2 to 8 that will be launched in next 6 months, where we are likely to invest around 25 to 30 crore. We believe, keeping certain international examples in mind, that till date no one has launched good quality interactive content for these age groups, and there will be good demand not only from the big cities but across India. Keeping that in mind, we have decided to invest this number, and in 6 months, as I said, we will be launching this product. The another initiative that we have also decided is acquiring some platforms. It could be tuition platforms. Tuition helps teachers to give good tuitions, or I would say quality tuitions on the digital platforms. The major reason we have just decided this, because just not keeping pandemic in mind, but the teachers across India, including our core areas, we saw that teachers have seen good help or good benefit out of these platforms, because the way they were teaching or the time that they were spending just in traveling will get reduced drastically, and they will be able to showcase lot many things on digital platform apart from what they were teaching on the physical paper. So that way we took a big survey, and then we decided to invest in certain platforms which will then same community with whom we are dealing for so many years will start using these platforms. Furthermore, we have also decided that the areas in where Navneet is not organically investing or do not have expertise, we are likely to identify some companies where we will invest and take advantage of the growing education market overall. So with this couple of initiatives, future in digital particularly focus of Navneet is rising, and all of you will see great results going forward on the digital initiatives as well. So with this, I will request all of you to pose any questions to me. I am not going into the numbers, as you might have already seen them. So overall, we are very, very hopeful for a much better future of Navneet going forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin with the question and answer session. Anyone wishing to ask a question may please press star and 1 on your touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is on the line of Swecha Jain from ANS Wealth. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Thank you for giving this opportunity. So I have 2-3 questions, and then I have some more, so I'll just join the queue back. So my first question is with respect to Essence and Indianica. By when, sir, can we, you can throw some guidance as to by when do we see these 2 ventures turning profitable? A, and B, are they currently EBITDA positive? And what kind of strategies we are looking at these 2 ventures from a 2 or 3 year perspective?
Sure. So first I'll talk about Indianica. We were very, very confident that this year we would be EBITDA positive before the pandemic happened, of course. Many groundwork was already done, but unfortunately because of the pandemic, this year schools did not open and we had to receive back lots of inventory back in the current year. Not only that, but as I said in my opening remarks, that schools are likely to reopen for the next academic year in the month of June. So whatever sales that we were seeing in the fourth quarter every year, that is likely to get postponed a bit, part of it. So we will not see good numbers of Indianica in the current year. Having said that, next year we will have two advantages, that April and May we will have sales, and again next fourth quarter also we will see good sales. So that is as far as numbers are concerned. Additionally, what I should say that not only physical products of Indianica, but as I said, many digital content for CBSE also is being created. So Indianica will see two offerings, one physical book together with digital products. That is likely to give push to the physical products tremendously. So with that hope, we are saying the future of Indianica also looks bright. You will have to forget the current year. Now, as far as Essence is concerned, our mistake was that we just focused on state level curriculum, and that did not give us the traction that we always wanted. Now that we have understood after a big survey that happened internally, we talked to more than 300 teachers, principals across India, identified gaps, and accordingly, we have already started creating content. And given this base, I believe that future of Indianica Essence also looks very, very bright. And added to that, now as a group, if you see, as I said, couple of digital initiatives. So one, Essence will have in-house work of creating digital products for physical books. It will have lots of interactive content that we want in Navneet and Indianica, and together with Essence own product. Added to that, couple of platforms that I spoke about. So the digital content that we have created so far will be disseminated through various channels now on digital front. So that way, Essence also will see a good future going ahead. But current year, I'm sorry, but I don't think so we'll be able to grow in the current year in both the companies.
So can we expect them to be EBITDA positive by next year? I know it will be difficult at this point in time for you to answer, but if you can give some guidance, that would be very helpful.
No, so I am very confident. Only caveat here is that if pandemic situation does not come back again, if that is not there, then I'm very confident both companies will be EBITDA positive. Not only EBITDA positive, but at PAT level positive for sure. That I'm very confident of.
And if you can guide us to any investments that we are planning to make in these two initiatives, some guidance for next year, if you could give that.
Yeah, sure. So not only this digital initiative, but overall I should give you guidance on all the investments that we are planning. So next year, we are likely to make around 40 odd crores in our stationery manufacturing units. We have already acquired certain lands and now we'll start constructing plant and building and buy some machineries. This is mainly focusing our exports opportunities going forward. So around 40 odd crores we are likely to invest in for stationery. Rest in our present businesses, I do not think it will be beyond 10 odd crores. Now coming to digital initiative, overall at a group level, I should say that on developing new digital content for CBSE, we are likely to invest around 15 odd crores in the next year, and maybe around 15 additional number next to next year. For creating interactive content for the age group 2 to 8, as I said, that investment will be around 30 to 35 crores, including creating platform, creating digital assets, and then marketing. So around 30 to 35 crore will be spending next year. And maybe once we see the product ready, we'll have to spend lots on marketing. So as per our plan today, we may end up investing 20 to 25 crores next to next year. Of course, we will go on investing depending on the feedback of the market that we receive. So all in all, that number we have budgeted as of now. And on investing in various platforms or investing in some companies, we have plans to invest around additional 30 odd crore next year in couple of investments. Few of them have already been identified, and maybe in a month or so, we will start showcasing it to the investors, what all investments that we have done. So on digital front, we have big plans. Next year, in totality, I should say we will be investing around 70 odd crores, and next to next year, maybe 50 odd crores additional. So these are the investment plans for on digital front.
Okay. So thank you. So I have a few more questions. I'll just join back the queue.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. A reminder to the participants, anyone wishing to ask a question, may please press star and 1. The next question is from the line of AS from Newport. Please go ahead.
Hello, sir. Thank you so much for your presentation and the insights so far. I just have a few questions. One
Sure.
is on the current year, that is March 21 ending. Now that looks like state boards are going to take exams for 9th, 10th. Looks like some schools and teaching may start for 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. Do you think it is possible to salvage some part of F21? Are you seeing response from students and parents that they're trying to buy some books because 9th, 10th exams are approaching? That's question number one. Second,
Sure.
on digital, I think our competition could be somebody like Byju's, who has got almost free money coming in from private equity, and they're probably more willing to burn money versus what Navneet would ideally want to do. So how can we ideally compete with somebody who's just willing to burn money?
Sure. So first, let me answer your second question, which is competing with Byju. We are not going to compete with Byju. Our model is very different. Their model, as we all know, is B2C model only, whereas Navneet is going to focus only B2B and maximum B2B2C. So if a school wants to adopt Byju's product, I think it is not possible as of now. Whereas what, as I said in my remarks also, that we have done a big survey and deep survey, I should say, wherein we have identified gaps that teachers would like to get filled up. So accordingly, we are creating various platforms and content that will help teachers in the classroom, teachers in the tuitions, and students to complete their total academic requirements. So that way we are going to focus only B2B and B2B2C. So that is to answer that we do not want to compete with Byju in any case. And this is why I'm saying that B2B is because Navneet has always done business in B2B segment only. So with so many relationships that we have in core areas and across India due to Indianica, we are likely to see success in schools adopting Navneet Group's product. So that way we are confident that if we create right products for them, they will definitely adopt. And to answer your first question, you're right that we started seeing good orders from 9 to 12 starting January. So January month went very well. February month, every day we are seeing good traction. So Q4 number will be much better than corresponding Q4. that we are very confident as far as publishing business is concerned, the most profitable business is concerned. So that we are seeing recently, third week of January, we started seeing orders from 5th to 8th grade as well, because state governments have announced starting 5th to 8th grade from first week of February. So we started seeing that traction also. So overall, we believe in Q4, from grade 5 to grade 12, we are likely to see good numbers coming in. Pre-primary and primary schools have decided not to open the current year. So there we are not really confident of getting any sales now. So with keeping all this in mind, as I said in my opening remarks, we are likely to see 58 to 59% drop in the current year as far as publishing business is concerned at a yearly level.
Right. Thank you. I'll come back in queue. I have a couple of questions.
Sure.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Samrat Singh from TPF Capital. Please go ahead.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm very fine. Good morning.
On the digital side, I just had a question. I understand because we are largely focused on SSC, we haven't seen sort of digital traction. But even on the CBSE side, can you just talk about, besides Zoom and maybe Microsoft Teams, what sort of products have schools adopted to teach students?
Fine. So I believe in the total offering, online platform is one of the things that is required. And you are right that till date, schools have used majorly Zoom, Google Meet, and Microsoft Teams. But if there are now a couple of platforms already available wherein APIs of companies like Zoom or Zoom are being used. And not only that, there are many other service providers or platforms available in the market. And companies have created certain online platforms to disseminate these products. But what I wanted to convey here is that using online platform like Zoom is one of the requirements. What is most important for a company like Navneet is concerned is creating right digital content, which is interactive, which is useful to teachers and students to learn, teachers to teach. So that way, keeping that in mind, we are focusing more on creating digital content, and simultaneously using platforms are concerned. There are many such options available, which we will be using when we come to giving the total solution to the school.
Okay. And, just talking maybe 2 years down the line, when all of this is hopefully behind us, do you see schools and teachers, going back to the old way? I'm assuming you think that a large part of this digital teaching will remain. Could you just elaborate more your thoughts on that? I feel like a large part of going back to school is important as well, and in the end, students will have to go back to school and study and learn there. So, how much of the digital aspect of this whole thing will remain 2 years down the line?
So, let me explain you differently. One, which is you are very right that students and schools, students will need to go back to the school. There is no doubt about it. So, what I want to convey here is that the usage of digital content will increase dramatically now. The same digital content can be used in the school itself. So we are not very hopeful that online teaching by a school will continue. Very minuscule part of that will continue as far as online is concerned, but schools will start using more and more digital products within the school. Having said that, the online platform will be majorly used for tuition purpose, tuition which is beyond the school hours. There we foresee lots of online products are likely to see good traction. So as far as schools are concerned, it will be blended learning together with physical product. Lots of digital content also will be used while teaching throughout the year. And as far as tuitions are concerned, added to that, online platforms will be helpful. So that way, we are seeing more and more digital content to be used for teaching, be it for tuitions or be it in the school.
Okay, thanks. And just a quick question on the publishing side. Could you just let us know by state? So I guess states of Gujarat, Maharashtra, and I guess the NCR region. Which classes have opened up per region?
So for the state of Gujarat, Maharashtra, 9th to 12th grade have already opened up. Even in couple of areas, except Mumbai, Thane region, even 5th to 8th grades have already opened. So we are seeing sales coming in from across Maharashtra. Unfortunately, in the Mumbai Corporation and Thane Municipal Corporation, schools have not yet started. So that sales we are not likely to see immediately. But since you know that Navneet is spread across Maharashtra, now we are seeing that orders coming in. As far as Gujarat is concerned, again, grade 5th to 12th have already started in the month of February. So across state, we are seeing orders from 5th to 12th grade. Coming to NCR region, again, same story that grade 9 to 12 classes have started. But what happens is that we are not going to see good number till March is concerned, because for the current academic year, which is likely to get extended up to May, students have already bought books in last March, April, for which sales were already affected before that. So for the next academic year, normally we get business in the fourth quarter. That is likely to get postponed to April and May this year. So for the current year, we are not likely to see much sales coming in from NCR region, or for that matter, CBSE publishing.
Okay, thank you. I'll get back in the queue.
Thank you. We'll move on to the next question. That is from the line of Chintan Modi from Haitong Securities. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. So can you talk a little bit about the paper price trend and what is the outlook? Because we are seeing pulp prices internationally are rising rapidly. So what could be the impact on margins and any price hikes or something that we have taken?
So the way paper prices had fallen down last year, if we had achieved good revenue in the current year, we would have seen much benefit in the numbers. But unfortunately, we did not receive good revenue. So having said that, today paper prices have come back to, I would say, January 20 levels. So accordingly, we had already priced our book last year. So margin-wise, we are not likely to get impacted because of the higher paper price rise. I agree with you that recently, from the lower side of the paper prices, good jump has taken back. Almost, I would say, 20 to 22% prices have come back. The more challenge for the industry, I believe, is the availability of paper. And you are right that couple of print paper where raw material was being imported is a challenge. So for the industry, apart from the price, the availability of paper itself is a challenge. But given the experience of so many years to Navneet and relationship with the paper mills, we are not likely to see that difficulty. It will be a little challenging though, but we are not likely to see. Having said that, if paper prices rises further from the here on, as usual, I've always been saying that Navneet is selling content. And so for us to pass over that incremental input cost is relatively easier. So on regularly, we monitor paper price trend, and whatever next print that we are likely to do for the next academic year, we will see if prices are going up. We'll have to revisit our pricing of the product, and we'll have to pass it on.
Sure. And sir, secondly, from the publishing business perspective, specific to the SSC book, do you think in FY22, if we consider FY20 as a base, will be able to still deliver a growth?
We are confident very much. One reason is because the board exams have shifted to May this year. So part of the business of the current year will get postponed to next year. And added to that, new curriculum of certain grades that have been introduced, that also will give us additional revenue. So we are very confident that we'll have good numbers over FY20 as well.
Okay. And does this also have to do something like, sir, we have this, custom of second-hand books in India. Now, last year, nobody would have bought books. So there could be some pent-up demand in terms of fresh books?
That we are not very sure about it, that pent-up demand because of the second-hand book will go up. First of all, if you understand our product categories, 40% of our revenue, which is guide books, there only we always have concern for the second-hand books. So if the pent-up demand goes up, it will be for the guides. Workbook and 21 most likely, which are the other two major categories. Frankly, we never have challenge of second-hand books. So that I am not very clear whether demand of second-hand books will increase or decrease. But overall, the trend that we see with the scenario across India, including Maharashtra, Gujarat, that the importance of second-hand book is decreasing year after year. And that helps companies like Navneet to have growth in the fresh prints.
Okay. And just one last question. Regards to the exports business, do you think we are likely to come back to good levels of growth in the next year?
So, as I said, that this year, 2021, we'll see degrowth of 20%, majorly on account of first 2 months of the year, almost non-operational. Going forward, we are very sure that first we will surpass FY20 level a bit, not much. And the reason that I'm not saying not much is, unfortunately, pandemic has not got over in the rest of the world. Right. And their sales also were affected in the current year. So whatever inventory that they built up, expecting sales to happen in the current year, did not happen. So they already have certain inventories with them, which they will now sell in the next year. But having said that, last 3 to 4 years, Navneet has changed its focus just from back-to-school business to various office stationery products as well. And there are many value-added products that we have introduced. Many new customers have already come and shown interest procuring material from us. So overall, that we see that one, we will bypass FY20 number in 21-22, but not a very high percentage. But going forward, given the new base of 21-22, then we are very confident that minimum 15 to 20% growth we will achieve because of the demand that we are seeing today, as well as focus on India is increasing. And added to that, accordingly, we have planned investments, so our manufacturing base also will increase. So with all these things, we believe that at 21-22, we will see more or less good numbers. I would say not good numbers, but relatively little higher number than FY20. And thereafter, we are very confident that minimum 15 to 20% we will see growth.
Sure. And just one last, sir, if I may. So considering all this into perspective, putting all this into perspective for next year, do you think we can come back to our net profit run rate of about 180 to 200 crores next year?
Yeah, we are very confident. So not only at standalone level, but at a console level also, it will be much better because the losses that we are seeing it. Indianica and ESENS also will not be there next year for sure. So keeping that in number, not only standalone, but at console level also we'll see good number, better than even FY20 numbers.
Fantastic, sir. Fantastic. Thanks a lot for this. This was very helpful, sir.
Sure.
Thank you. A reminder to the participants, anyone wishing to ask a question, may please press star and 1. The next question is from the line of Sonal Kohli from Bowhead. Please go ahead.
So thank you for this opportunity.
Yes, Sonal.
Sir, any major course changes in 2022 or 2023? Is there any policy changes by the government, which could lead to a much faster change in courses in either of the 2 years?
So if you see my second quarter presentation also, NEP has already indicated all states to change the curriculum of respective standards of grade in particular year. Keeping that in mind, in Maharashtra, we will see one grade change, that is 9th grade change in 21-22. Gujarat state is little late in announcing that, but they will have to follow NEP policy. So it may be 1 year here or there. But overall, next 5 to 6 years, based on recommendation by NEP, all the standards curriculum is likely to change for sure. So on a long-term basis, yes, curriculum will change in 5 to 6 years for all the grades. With that, many new topics are introduced in NEP. So companies like Navneet will have to create new titles for those subjects. That also will enhance the revenue of the company.
So, sir, you are not that hopeful of FY22 as far as the impact of this, but by FY23, would you expect a major change, or it's too early for me to ask you? There's no clarity from the central government or from any of the state government?
No, central government, there is clarity, as I said, in NEP, but state governments finally will have to decide and see whether they can manage that change curriculum as suggested by under NEP. Can they do it or not? But as I said, FY22 Maharashtra government has already decided. Gujarat government is yet to decide. But going forward, for even not only that, even CBSE curriculum also is likely to change for the grade as suggested by NEP. But you're right that going forward in next 4 or 5 years, all grades at any circumstances states will have to change. So they may do it in FY22 or they may start from FY23.
Sir, so Maharashtra, you said only 9th class curriculum is going to change.
That's right.
In
That's right. That's right.
In this year. And sir, when was the last time you saw so much of course change over a 4 or 5 year period? Is it normal, or this what NEP is causing a substantially more change from a 4 or 5 year perspective than a normal cycle of 4 or 5 years? Because otherwise also the course keeps on changing, right?
That's right. So I've been always saying that it is a 6-year cycle where in the first 4 years or 5 years, curriculum of all standard changes, and then the last 1 or 2 years are silent periods. So we just passed that period of silent period in FY20 and little bit in FY19 also. Going forward from FY22, maybe little slow start at the beginning, but next 4 to 5 years, we are seeing good curriculum change for all the grades.
Sir, what I'm trying to get, at is the context of the change. So is the change in line with the normal changes you have, or because of NEP, the change and the magnitude is much more? So I'm just trying to understand compared to because, in Navneet is listed, we have seen all cycles of Navneet, So we're just trying to understand the quantum, the delta in the change compared to the past delta in the change over a 4 or 5 year period because of NEP policy.
No, so quantum in the change, if there is little change or very major change, what company like Navneet focuses is much higher volume growth in those particular years. So, of course, Navneet will be ready and will change as state government decides to change its curriculum. NEP is just a recommendation. So now, since education is a state subject, states will have to decide how much to implement out of NEP. So I cannot predict how much change respective states will do, but Navneet is very confident. Like earlier, we will have curriculum change products going forward. What I'm trying to see that whether it is a small change or big change, company like Navneet will benefit on account of volume, because then students do not opt for old products at all. So that way Navneet is likely to benefit with all the changes that will happen going forward. I'm not able to answer you very clearly, because we ourselves are not very clear how state governments are likely to implement, whether deeply as suggested by NEP or the way they feel right. So that way I'm not very clear, but with small change also, students will not opt for old books, or all inventory will be obsolete, and therefore Navneet will see good growth going forward in terms of volumes.
So, sir, assuming they, set NEP changes, would the delta in terms of the number of classes where the curriculum is changing would be higher than the past, assuming, NEP completely goes through, or, it would still be almost similar, compared to a normal cycle of course change?
Yeah, it will be normal cycle, because NEP also has suggested accordingly that they want these two changes to happen in next 5 years, and then introduction of new subject, as I said, all that they are expecting all states to follow. So, and all states have been requested to change their all curriculums by 2030. But we have always seen that curriculum change, when it starts, all the states, including Maharashtra, Gujarat, they change in 5 years. So, we are likely to see change happening as usual as earlier.
And sir, as far as your outlook for 2023 was concerned, what are the main drivers of your growth? Is it like going to be CBSE? Is it going to be your publication? Is it going to be your export stationery? Is it going to be a digital, in terms of overall impact? So if you could quantify.
Hello?
Ladies and gentlemen, we have lost the line for the current participant. We'll move on to the next participant. That is on the line of Swachha Jain from ANS Wealth. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Most of my questions are answered. I have just one, two more questions. Sir, in the last call, you had mentioned that, in terms of the revenue booking in eSEM, we are only booking currently what the parents are actually paying to schools and not the entire amount, because a lot of parents are still not paying. Would you be able to quantify that amount, sir, if it's possible?
How much have they paid?
How much we've not booked, like what was the total quantum and how much percentage have they paid? That, like some sense as to what kind of revenue we've still not booked in our books, which in normal course we would have.
I understand that. Now that number, of course, keeps on fluctuating, but overall we know that out of 400 schools that had opted for our products to be given to their students, hardly, I would say 10% would have paid. And why did they not pay? Because schools did not open till January. Now that schools have opened from 5th to 12th, some schools have started receiving some money from the schools. So I can say that around 6 to 7 crores of revenue that we could not finally book in the current year because parents did not pay for it.
Okay. So we can expect this to be there in the next year?
I believe so, because traction of this is B2B2C sales are concerned has really increased a lot. We are seeing lots of usage. At times during pandemic, when we gave it for free, lots of students use. It is more than 2 lakh students were using this product. Now that having experienced that product, I am sure they will finally end up buying that.
Right. Okay. And so also with regard to, acquisition of more schools in the K-12 segment, we had mentioned in the last call that a lot of schools are closing down and we are looking, we take this as a good opportunity for us. So, so in next 1-2 years, are we looking at some more acquisition? And, in my earlier question, when you gave a guidelines with respect to investments, have we accounted for those acquisitions in those investment amounts?
You're talking about K-12 Techno?
Yes.
Okay. So K-12 Techno has raised equity in the third quarter of this year, and it already has 200 plus crores in its kitty. So with our earlier plans, we will grow by 9 to 10 schools every year. And for next 2 years, we already have funds. So I do not think for acquiring new schools or starting new schools, company will need further investment.
Okay. Perfect. Sir. And so just last question, you had mentioned in your initial commentary that we are developing the interactive digital content for 2 to 8 years of age group. And we're going to benchmark this against the international standards. So if you could just throw some more, clarity as to, or some sense as to how are we going to differentiate this product with a lot of other digital content that we see, in this age group.
Of course, the content is under development. Simultaneously, lots of study will undergo, talking to relevant teachers. But having said that, Navneet understands the need of students, and students in this matter, this particular age group is not that important, but we understand the need of parents as well. So accordingly, content is being planned, and it is evolving every day. And as I said, it will be ready in 6 months, so it is likely to evolve over next 6 months. Finally, what we are seeing is that internationally such platforms or such products are being used by the parents in particular to teach their students or keep their students up to the particular benchmark. That we foresee is likely to happen in India also. And particularly where across India, if you see, there are not great preschools living up at few cities of the country. So those parents will definitely opt for such product where their students can benefit. So that is the overall view that management has taken, and accordingly started developing content. In terms of how will we differentiate, that I will not be able to tell you right now how are we likely to differentiate.
Okay. And so my last small question, if I can take up.
Sure.
So do we see any shift in our dividend policy going forward? I mean, I understand this year is an exceptional year, but if I have to say for next 1-2 years, do we see any change in our dividend policy going forward?
No, madam. As far as minimum percentage that we have announced, we have been rather saying for last 20 odd years, that policy we are likely to continue.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir, and all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be taking the last question. That is from the line of AS from Newport. Please go ahead.
Thank you again. So it's actually longer term question, say a 5-year view or a 10-year view. If you go by the recent history, and let alone this last year, because it's been an aberration, but beyond the last year, the recent history has shown that stationery business seems to be a faster growing business than publishing. So is it fair to assume that this is the trend which we expect over the next 5 years, 10 years? And if that be the case, then how does the ROCE of the company get impacted because of this trend? So will this pull the ROCE higher, or will it push it low?
I feel ROCE will remain the same, and I'll give you the reason. I understand that ROCE of publishing business is as high as 33-34%, whereas stationery it is lower. But stationery again we see little deeper. Exports ROC is almost 16 to 17% versus domestic around 8 to 9%. We are very hopeful of growth in exports of stationery. And the way we are trying to build our business, not depending on back-to-school business, but offering them much value-added products, including office stationery products. Now, the best part is that when we are shifting our focus, which we have already done for last 3-4 years, the stationery of usage which is used in office, there we'll be able to roll out cycles twice or 2.25 times a year versus back to school only once a year. So when we can generate 2 times of our investments, I believe total ROC should remain the same.
Right. Got it. And so one last question on stationery again, and we've seen very, very good traction for export. So I just wanted to understand what exactly is the competitive advantage of Navneet when it comes to stationery export. So what is the edge? Is it pricing? Are we just cheaper and therefore there's so much demand? So what would you say is the competitive advantage on stationery exports?
Yeah, so good question. The most important point here is across the globe, including developing countries, fortunately for us, but dependency on China, all companies want to reduce. Having said that, in certain part of be it USA, Central USA, or certain parts of Europe, the best country location-wise is for them is India, and therefore lot many inquiries have started coming in India. Now, again, the advantage at Navneet, one side there is definitely customers eyeing India as a for them their supplies, but when they come to India, the advantage that Navneet has, the infrastructure that it has built. We have gone through all the tests that the organized retail, particularly in the US, they aspire for, they want. Now that unfortunately in India, no one else has those such infrastructure and facilities which they can pass through all the tests that these customers require. And therefore, all customers have no option but to rely on such company which can pass through all the tests. So, and we have lots of certification to that effect. And therefore, any other competitor trying to do that, one, it will have to invest in big way. Secondly, it will have to start building good relationship, prove themselves, and that is likely to take time. And therefore, we are very confident that Navneet will have much faster advantage than anyone else.
Wonderful. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the last question. I now hand the conference over to the management for the closing comments.
Once again, thank you, Prabhudas Lilladher, for arranging this call. So, in all my dear colleagues, I should assure you that going forward, Navneet is likely to grow across all its business segments, and its focus on digital is increasing quite faster than it uses to be. Keeping that in mind, and it's not restricted to Maharashtra and Gujarat, and therefore keeping that in mind, we believe Navneet, even on digital front, will see a good traction. Now, when I mean good traction, does not mean in terms of profitability, but in terms of usage in the initial period and profitability going forward. You should keep in mind that Navneet is not going to just try and increase its market value. We just want to focus on good quality content disseminated to the student and teacher community as their expectation. And once we deliver good product, I am sure rest will follow automatically. So with that confidence, I should say on digital front also, we are likely to see good opportunity going forward for Navneet as well. And thank you once again to all of you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Prabhudas Leeladhar Private Limited, that concludes this conference.